So, hello everyone. If you've not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please subscribe for more videos of Cambridge A-level maths. And I try to make my videos really easy so that they can be understood by someone who did core at IGCS or someone who did extended. So please, if you've not subscribed and you're watching right now, please subscribe for more videos, because I even intend to do start one as well and start 2 plus mechanics. So please, if I get more subscribers, then I can be motivated to do that. So please subscribe. So now, without wasting time, so let's today look at how we solve quadratic equation. First of all, you must be able to know the general form of a quadratic equation. It is in this form. This is our quadratic equation. So you can have a quadratic equation uh, that they need you to solve. But remember, first of all, in Cambridge, they cannot ask you a plain question like solve a quadratic equation. So in most cases, you find you're working out a number and then you form a quadratic equation, but they will not ask you a question plain on its own and it requires you to solve, because you have to know that it is application. We basically apply. So you must understand the concept, work out, form a quadratic equation, and then solve it. So now, so meaning it can't come as a question on its own. So we are going to first see if you are working out and you form such kind of equation, how do you solve for x? So the easiest way is you take a root both sides. So when you take a root both sides, you end up having your x as plus or minus 5. I want you to know that whenever you're taking a square root of any number, the answers are plus or minus. For example, here, if you have 5 times 5, you end up having 25. If you have negative 5 times negative 5, you end up having 25. So that's it. Or alternatively, you could have done it this way. You take 25 to the left side, and then if you remember your IGCS properly, if you have x squared minus 25, if there are two terms, how we factorize two terms, you need to know that actually that's a difference of two squares. So this is x squared minus 5 squared. So I'll end up having x squared minus 5 squared equaling to 0. If you still recall properly, difference of two squares, one bracket with a negative sign and another one with a positive sign. If you remember your factorization very well, either bracket can be equated to 0 and you end up having your answer as 5 and your other answer as negative 5. So you can choose the easiest way. Yeah, you can choose the way that makes life easy for you and then you solve. Then what if also you need to solve an equation like this? So this is also quadratic, but we do not have a C. So if it is like that, then you factorize. So you can see on the left hand side that x is common, so when you factorize you end up getting that. The moment you factorize, try opening back, you should get the exact equation which is on top. So now either bracket is equal to 0, so I end up having x as 0 and also x as negative 1. This is how we solve quadratic equation. When you find that you do not have a C. Also, when you find that you don't have a B, you have a C, either you could take a root both sides, or you could also do a difference of two squares. Okay, so let's also see if you have all the three terms, what do you do? So me, I always tell my students that when you're solving a quadratic equation, most of you already know how to use a calculator. First, work it out with a calculator. When you get whole numbers, then you could use factorization. I hope you all know how to solve quadratic equations using a calculator. If you don't know, please comment, and then maybe I'll make a video on how to do that. But I hope everyone knows, okay, because if you're in A level, you must know. Here is another question that wants us to solve a quadratic equation. This is my quadratic equation. I have O, I have the A, I have the B, and I have the C. So what you have to do, please solve it using a calculator. So after solving it using a calculator, I always encourage my students to leave a space in between and then give your answers. According to my calculator, I'm getting the answer as 8 and also the answer as 9. So I need now, with the space I left before, I need to put a bracket, which when equated to 0, it gives me 8, and which when equated to 0, gives me 9. So when you get whole numbers or fractions, you can work backwards to give the method that you used. So now, what is that bracket? If I have x equaling to 8, you take this 8 on the left side and you end up having your x minus 8. So that is the bracket. So meaning here on my method, I will have x minus 8. And then here for this bracket, I will have x minus 9. And that's all. So if you have a whole number, then you can work backward. If you have fractions too, you can work backward. I hope this one works for any whole number that you get. So let me also give you a number where we can solve and get fractions. 12x squared minus 28x minus 5. Try solving it using a calculator. When you try solving it using a calculator, actually you will end up having x as negative 1 out of 6. So I'm leaving space and x equaling to 5 out of 2. So now we are going to work backward. What most children do is wrong. If you have x equaling to negative 1 out of 6. So how would you form a bracket that when equated to 0, it gives you negative 1 out of 6? Most students always say x plus 1 out of 6. That is very wrong. So what you do, you cross multiply and you end up having 6x equaling to negative 1. And then take negative 1 the other side, you end up having 6x plus 1. So meaning the bracket that I should have here should be 6x cross multiply and take the one on top for the left side. Do the same for x equaling to 5 out of 2 cross multiply, you end up having 2x. Then take 5 the left, you end up having minus 5. That is how we work backwards. So when you give that kind of working backward, you're actually telling the examiner that you used factorization. That makes sense? Then when do you use quadratic formula? So we use quadratic formula the moment you find that when you solve your quadratic equation using a calculator, you get decimals that can't be written as fractions. Decimals that can't be written as fractions. So there you're supposed to actually say that you used quadratic formula. So here is an example. Please don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe for more interesting videos. So now another question here. I'm going to show you how. So this is a quadratic equation, but when I solve it, I don't get. When I solve it, I get actually decimals. You end up having x equaling to negative 2.13, and another x is 0.12. I think negative. Yeah. So now, what should I put here in the space I left before? I'm supposed to show that I used quadratic formula. If you remember the quadratic formula, it is minus b. So according to our b, it is negative 9 plus o minus b squared, which is 9 squared, minus 4 times a times c under root over 2 times 4. You are not supposed to go and break it down. No, 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 no. That is at IGCS where they require you to have all the steps. At A level, you're supposed to show that you use the quadratic formula and set your answers. So you're not supposed to go breaking it down. like you'd be required at O level. So I hope you find this video very helpful. Please subscribe. Have a lovely time.